Hello everyone, welcome back to Rayden's Armory. Thank you so much for tuning in. Guys, I found the perfect pocket knife. That's kind of a bold statement, but honestly, I really did. If you guys have been watching the channel for any amount of time, or if you're new to the channel, you've probably been around knives a little bit, or you've seen some stuff about knives. There is a company called LES GEORGE. As you guys know, if you checked my YouTube channel out before, I've done one LES GEORGE video. It was the crazy one. It was the VECP button lock with the Chad Nichols Damascus blade, the morph scales. Crazy. So when I'm going to talk about this, it is still relevant and it is still a flagship model. It is still the VECP from LES GEORGE. But what happened was I got the Magnacut one, button lock one. If you guys don't know, LES GEORGE does a great job on Magnacut. And he does his, I believe it's from 62 to 63 Rockwell, or actually all the way up to 64 Rockwell, I believe. And that's insane. Like that's like the perfect area for the heat treating that Magnacut should be in. And it's absolutely gonna really bring out the perfect combination between corrosion resistance, toughness, edge stability, edge holding capability, and resharpen ability at the same time. That's why I think when I was really thinking about, okay, what's going to be the best all around, not only user, functional knife, functional blade, functional handle, most comfortable handle, what are my favorite types of locks, right? So when I was looking through my collection, kind of looking through, well, the way I collect even is like, I like to orient my EDC and what I like to carry and like to collect even is basically something that is going to always be functional, but it's also going to be really genuinely nice, built well, and it's going to still have great capability with steel, and it's going to be carry really well. It's going to be practical is what I'm trying to say. And honestly, when I got this, I was so blown away. And I already had the VECP like I was telling you about, but when I was thinking, I was like, okay, I have a really rare VECP, which is the Damascus one I was telling you guys about. But knowing that LES GEORGE was doing Magnacut in the perfect HRC Rockwell hardness range, I was blown away. And when I was able to pick one up from DLT Trading, if you guys don't know, that's a great retailer. Check out DLT Trading. I'll have that in the description. Also, real quick, guys, I also have some promotional codes in the description. Check those out. The codes you can actually use at checkout, and you actually get like a really good discount deal. So go check that out too. But anyway, when I saw the VECP done in Magnacut, and I saw the Rockwell HRC, I was like, oh my gosh, there's not many companies that are able to or are doing really phenomenal heat treats in a fully USA made price range, or a fully USA made built and produced knife with a pretty good price range. Now, if you guys don't know, this is a Midtech. If you guys don't know what a Midtech is basically, it's the middle range between, you have the USA made knives, right? And they're produced like, you have Spyderco, you have Benchmade, you have Zero Tolerance, all these knives, right? But then you go further the line, it gets more higher end, and then it goes to the point where you're actually ordering from a maker. It's not really just a brand like Kershaw or something. It's actually a maker at this point. And this is the bridge between production, really nice production, to ultra high-end production. And then it goes on to custom. So it's that mid-range. It's ultra high-end production knives. And LES GEORGE does mid-techs like this. But this VECP button lock in Magnacut, full titanium, is going to be the very best EDC knife, in my opinion. Like this, in my honest opinion, it does not get any better than this. When it comes to being practical, capable, and cool, and when it comes to my preferences. This is my bias. This is what I've seen in my own knife journey, right? I love Hinderer knives. I love Demko knives. They do great jobs. They are still on really high on the list, okay? I'm not saying that this is the best, like my favorite in every single aspect. But I'm also saying this is also my favorite in every single aspect. Let me do some quick size comparisons. So this is the XM18 3.5 inch from Rick Hinder. As you can see, the VECP is going to be slightly bigger. It has like 0.1 0.1 of an inch bigger than the XM18. Also, if you notice, these are full stonewash, and this is going to be a little bit brighter stonewash. I kind of talked about in another video when I was talking about the Berg Blaze Barber. If you guys don't know that, you can get that from River's Edge Cutlery. Great knife. But yeah, it's kind of got that cool, really stonewash finish. The VCP is a little bit heavier stonewash. This is more of a polished stonewash. But yeah, so these are kind of like the flagship Midtechs that are produced from Rick Hinder, Les George, and Demko, I think, is also on that list. I think this is the new, what the knife guys called the trinity of the knife maker, the best knife makers, right? When it comes to price, capability, and quality. So I think it's Demko, Les George, Rick Hinder. I think those are the best. When it comes to getting your, like I was saying, the best price range, best quality, production, all that stuff, right? Let me get that better in camera. But what I'm trying to say is the VECP hits that sweet spot. The one with the Magnacut and the button lock, it hits that sweet spot for so many reasons. I'm going to go to the handle first. This handle is super simple. Now, it doesn't look like the coolest knife. I think the XM18 looks cooler. But the VECP, the handle is so perfect because it's got one finger, index finger notch right here. It's scalloped right here where it just hugs your whole finger and it hugs the rest of your hand. And the rest of your hand just falls into place, with this super machined titanium. See, it's flat right here on the sides, but right here it is almost radiused, right? And it is completely knocked down. Sorry about that. It's completely knocked down, and there's no sharp edges whatsoever. And the way it works along with that button lock, and the thumb studs are perfect. They are a little bit. They have a little bit of a hex area right here, where it's kind of like notched right here on all four corners, all three corners actually. There's 1, 2, yeah, three notches. And what that does is it kind of creates some bite with your nail and your thumb. But the way it's positioned is right here on the peak of the scallop right here, and it just effortlessly pops open. Not to mention, these are on phosphor bronze washers. This is not bearings. As you know, Rick Hinder has the tri-way pivot system right here. As you can see, you can either do phosphor bronze, Teflon, or bearings. The bearings feel the best on this system. And I think the bearings feel the most solid, and I think the bearings feel it really works well with this system. And I keep bearings on my Hinders. The Demkos are also on bearings. They're not on washers, which is great. And I think the action is phenomenal on Demkos. But the fact that Les George is able to achieve this smooth look at that, this smooth of action using phosphor bronze washers. If you guys don't know, phosphor bronze washers really keep the knife very free from a whole bunch of debris, dust, all that stuff. It just kind of pushes it out and it doesn't get all gunked up like bearings do, because bearings have all those spaces in them because of all the little ball bearings in the little cage that's inset into the the washer. But this is just bronze washers, and it's super tough, and it's kind of the sweet spot everyone really decides is the sweet spot for their knife, because it's able to clean out gunk, it's able to stay lubed for a long time, it's able to stay very very stout and all that, and it can be very smooth if it's achieved with this high tolerances. Guys, there's no blade play on this. There is zero blade play up and down, left, right. He achieved the perfect Midtech. Seriously. And when I talk about the price, let me talk about the price, okay? So these are in the 400 area. An XM18, a regular XM18 comes with a G10 scale. That's in the 400 area. A 8020, machine ground 8020 from Andrew Demko. That's in the 400 area. They're all priced the same, around 400. But when you get a Hinder that's full tie, the scale is going to be 200 to get full tie. That's 600. This stays 400, but it's still full tie. Look at that. Full titanium. Beautiful, beautiful titanium. And it's milled inside. So right off the bat, this is already better priced than a Hinder XM18 full tie. And right off the bat, if you're going to get a full titanium Damco 8020, that's going to be over 600. So it's going to be the same price as the XM18 with full titanium. This already beat both of those with the cost. You're getting the same blade length as the two, basically, maybe slightly more. You're getting a rock solid, super smooth plunge lock, button lock right here, with the plunge in the back, super thick. It totally engages with the back of the knife. Super solid. Bronze washers. And you're getting an awesome, like some of the best knife ergonomics I have ever felt in my entire life. I love the VECP. It's such a perfect design. The way it is, and even you have this ricasso, you can even choke up on this, and then the way the jimping ends right here, it kind of locks your thumb in. You can just slice for days. The pocket clip is so ordinary, but it works so good. There is no hot spots. So if you guys don't know, I don't like pocket clips when they build up like that. This is the only exception where I don't mind it at all. In fact, I favor it. I like it when they're kind of built down, so I don't get any hot spots. This has zero, I mean seriously, zero hot spots. Doesn't matter how hard I squeeze this, there is zero hot spots. This knife is the perfect Midtech. I am just so blown away by this. And I was like, oh my gosh. Seriously, since I got it, which was a few weeks ago, probably like 5 weeks ago now, I think. This has not come out of my pocket. This has been in my, like seriously, like it has kicked out, it kicked out my XM18. And now, does this mean I'm going to get rid of this? No, I'm not going to get rid of this. Of course, I love it. I still carry the XM18. Usually what I do, guys, is I carry multiple. I'll carry this, a Demco 8020, a Para 3. I'll carry multiple things. But this has not gone out of the pocket. The other ones have rotated in and out, combining with the EDC that I do. This has not gone out of the pocket once. It is perfect. In knowing that the Magnacut is heat treated perfectly, in my opinion, you can't beat it. And it's thin behind the edge. It's gonna sharpen up perfectly. The way it's stonewashed is gonna really hide any scratches. It's gonna age. It's gonna look like this the same in 5 years from now. It's gonna look exactly the same. You can't beat it, guys. Like, this is literally, and it's corrosion resistant because it's full titanium, and the blade's ultra corrosion resistant. So corrosion resistant actually is that Spyderco used it on their Salt series. If you guys don't know, Salt series is their super corrosion resistant steel and knife build that they do in their line. That's how good Magnacut is at corrosion resistance. It doesn't get any in the hardware. I mean, you have a T20, you have a Torx size 20 pivot right here. That's captive. I don't gotta mess with the other pivot when I'm taking it apart. If I am gonna take it apart, you got these looks like T10 right here on the sides. Minimal hardware, super easy. It's beautiful, perfectly centered. And any grip too, like this, even the reverse grip. And guys, even this grip right here, if you're gonna do chest pulling cuts, like if you're ever gonna like whittle or anything and you're gonna make fire and you're more tent stakes while you go camping, you can easily cut this way. I always think, okay, if I'm gonna ever find a knife with perfect ergonomics, it's literally has to be perfect in every single grip. The only other knives that I think are perfect are like that close is like the 8020. Even this grip is actually very comfortable, but it's nowhere near as comfortable as the VECP because there's minimal. There's not the huge swell right here, and there's not the peak over here in the back, and it's just got that single index choil right here, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. And it's beautiful, and it's the most best priced Midtech you can get. Now the problem, you might think, well, how am I supposed to get that? Well, that's the problem. Because it's so popular, and because it is honestly as good as I'm saying, it's really popular, and it's not gonna be easy to get. But what you can do is, I know Les George is gonna be pumping these out as much as he can this year, and he already has, I think he's done, I mean, he's already given these to this year to, I think, like 3 or 4 big retailers. Because I know that, I think Knife Center had a few, DLT had a bigger drop. Who else did? USA Mayblade did a cool drop with it was this, but the morph scale, and then it was still the button lock, but it was DLC on the titanium. And one more company, one more retailer did it, pump them out as well. And those are fairly big drops for a Midtech like this, which you guys don't know. A Midtech is usually much smaller batches, right? You're going to have like 40 or 50 for a bigger retailer, or maybe a little bit more than that, depending. And it takes a long time for the maker to make it, because it's not easy. And they have a smaller crew, and they spend a lot of attention to detail and all of that. So, yeah, it's just like, dang. But he said he's gonna work hard. He's working harder to really pump them out this year, and so I'm pretty excited about that. Demco's doing the same thing. But dang, guys, like this is it, man. This is almost like, this knife is so good. It's almost to the point where, like, okay, I don't know if I need another knife. And that's kind of weird. That is a weird spot for a knife guy. That's a very weird spot to be in. And that's it's changed my knife philosophy once I got this knife. I was like, oh my gosh, this might be it. This might be the Excalibur. This might be the knife I was looking for. Because usually when you get a knife, you're like, okay, I'm going to look at another knife now. Once you got it. Dude, I haven't been looking at knives at all. Like, this is crazy. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was somewhat funny to watch, but thank you guys so much. Check the description, comment, like, subscribe. You guys know the details. Love you.